Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Katie, and today we're going to be talking about, for the next few days, my favorite books of 2023. So this is my absolute favorite videos to film each year, talking about my favorites. I am so excited. I will be wearing this book in my favorite videos because this is my favorite Christmas shirt. This is actually like one of the only ones that I've owned for like the past few years, and I love it so much. It's so cute. And here's a big kiss because, mistletoe. Anyways, so I'm excited. Forgot that my mug was on the floor, but hey, it matches my initial K. But yes, so I'm excited to talk about favorite books. So today we are going to be talking about my favorite middle grade, YA, and historical fiction. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. These are all mainstream fiction. Then my next video will be all of my favorite Christian fiction. You want to stay tuned for that because there are more than my top 10. This year was absolutely terrible. I mean that in a good way for favorite books. Okay, so let's start off with YA and historical fiction. I only have two that made this list. So the first one is my YA book that made it, Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. Yes. The first book especially, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I was raving about it with my friend Celestria. We were talking about it nonstop as we were reading it, and it was great. It was amazing. It was clean for the most part. I loved it. And yeah, it was just really great. I really loved it. And it's about this girl who she has kind of these, supposedly they're called cytonics, but like they can, I don't know, it's weird. They can time jump, well, not time jump, but jump like light years to different places. She hasn't trained for that yet, but she also can see like there's like these creatures out in space that are kind of, they can eat planets and stuff, and so they can see the cytonics because they can see them doing all this stuff. So it's very interesting, very good sci-fi to get into if you want to have like an introduction to sci-fi. It's very good. But yes, I'm really enjoying the series. I'm on book 3 right now with my friend Celestria, and probably will finish book 3 by the time this video comes up. But so far, book 1 has been amazing. Book 2, it was good, but it wasn't as good as book number 1. Book number 1 was really good. I really loved it. But yes, so can't wait to continue that series. And then the next book is an historical fiction that I loved. It was a happy surprise. I'm happy because it was a cover read. I love the cover, and that's why I wanted to read it. And that is River Sing Me Home by Eleanor Shearer. Check out that cover. It's gorgeous. I do not own the book yet. I do want to someday, though. I did really enjoy it. So it's about this woman who, it's during slavery times, and she is on a plantation, I believe in Barbados, I think, or French Guiana. It's one of those. But she ends up escaping because throughout her life, she's had all of these children in her life. She's older now. I don't know how old she is. But all of her children have been taken away from her. They've been sold to other plantations, maybe even other countries. And so she has no idea where they are. So she ends up deciding one day, I need to get out of here. I need to escape and go try to find my children. And that's what she does. She ends up escaping the plantation and just going from island to island in that vicinity and trying to find her children, seeing what happened to them. Are they willing to go with her? And it's very, very good. I loved it. I love seeing her travels as she went to find her children and finding out what situations her children found themselves in. And, are they still around? Did they pass away? And it was very good. And I definitely would like to try more books by that author. I think that's her debut novel. I'm not sure, but I think it is. So I don't know if she has any more, but it was very, very good. And I would read more by the author. Okay, and now we're going to be talking about my favorite middle grade books. So I don't have a lot. This list was kind of small because I didn't read a whole lot of middle grade this year compared to other years. I didn't read a lot of YA, not even too much historical fiction unless it was Christian fiction. Read a lot of those. But as far as mainstream historical fiction, didn't read a lot this year, which surprised me. Usually I do. Next year, we'll have more probably. Okay, but for middle grade, one of my favorite middle grade series this year was The Wing Feather Saga by Andrew Peterson. Loved it. I thought it was great. Actually, this should be in my Christian fiction video because it is a Christian fiction and middle grade series. But since it was middle grade, I kind of lumped it into here, but I'll let you guys know. So I really loved it. It was really good. If there was other middle grade books that I enjoyed even more, I probably wouldn't have made the list, but it was very good overall. I love that the author narrated the audiobooks. I thought he did a fantastic job, like really did, which surprised me because honestly, you know, maybe not a lot of authors are great at talking, but I felt like he did very good. He knew the characters, obviously, but he just did a very good job. And so I highly recommend the audiobooks. They were really good. So really enjoyed them all. Very fantasy-esque, a lot of fantastical creatures, a lot of action and adventure. I just thought it was great for middle grade and really loved it. Another book that I really loved for middle grade was The Super Teacher Project by Gordon Corman. I loved it. I love his books. I think that was either the third or the fourth book I've read by him, and I loved it. That was his newest release for this year, and it was just so good. It was so good. So this one is about a teacher, and I'm honestly gonna, I mean I can't spoil it because I was spoiled for this book by Goodreads. Goodreads recommendation, and it's not even in the dust jacket, but it's on Goodreads. There's a spoiler in the Goodreads description. So I mean it's been out forever, so I can spoil it, but no, I'm not gonna spoil it. Don't read Goodreads if you want to read it. That's all I'm saying. But it's about these kids who get a new teacher, and he's got an assistant who's older than him and carries a briefcase. And so all these weird things are happening with this new teacher, and they're trying to figure out who he is, and it was just so much fun. It was so much fun, and I love the ending. Gordon Corman's books always have some kind of message to them, which is great. I think they're really great reads. I really enjoy them, and I do plan on reading a couple more next year for middle grade. March, hopefully, because they're so good. I love them. But I'm not going to spoil it for you like Goodreads did. The next books that I really enjoyed, it was a duology by Dusty Bowling. It's the Insignificant Events in the Life of a Cactus, and the sequel, which is Momentous Events in the Life of a Cactus. I love these books. I thought they were so great. So it's about this girl who, I believe she's missing both arms, and I think she's adopted. So she kind of is struggling going to a new school because she's used to the old school that she had. She had friends there, but then she has to move. And so she goes to a new school. So she's kind of dealing with all that, you know, all the problems of people picking on her or not seeing her, not saying hi, you know, all those types of situations that she goes through. And I just felt like the author did a really great job with her character. And I honestly wish there was more in the series because I really like both of them. And I feel like it could have been even a 3 or 4 book series and I would have read all of them. They were really good. Okay, and then I have 2 more to talk about. I have The Battle of the Beast. I don't have the third book. I have the first one, The Beast and the Bethany. But Battle of the Beast by Jack Magid Phillips. I loved the third book. I think the third book was my favorite in this series. I just thought it was so good. The fourth book just released. I don't have my hands on it because it only released in the UK right now, so I have to wait. I don't know if it's out yet, but The Battle of the Beast, the third book, was so good. It was so good. I love these characters. I feel like they're great. They both start out to be very selfish. The little girl is she's very mean-spirited. She's very selfish. So is the older guy in the book. But they end up becoming friends throughout the series. And they really try hard to make a difference in their lives and in their community. And just the reaction of the townspeople, like, can we trust both of them? We don't know. And it's funny, it's cute, and I love this series. It's one of my favorites. That's why it's on my bookshelves. And yeah, it's great. And if you see him on Instagram, he just looks like the most fun guy to have at library events and stuff like that. He looks like he has so much fun at those events, and kids love him. You can tell. But yes, I can't wait to get my hands on the next one. Okay, and then my favorite middle grade series, well, it is a series. Third book is being written right now. The first book is my favorite out of the 2, but I have both of them in my hand, so I thought I would put down my cup first. Let's put down the cup there. And that is the Blameless series by E.S. Christensen. So The Blameless, this first book, I will reread this one for sure because I loved it that much. I thought the characters were great. I thought the 3 men that show up on the cover, their camaraderie, their love for this little girl as like pretty much like her big brothers, her uncles, just their humor throughout this book, how they kind of had that humor like what they do in like Lord of the Rings, like between Gimli and and Legolas and stuff like that. Just kind of that camaraderie and that humor with them. I just thought this book was so good. The Blameless, it is a mainstream middle grade series. It does have underlining elements of Christianity, but it's not you can't tell. It's just a clean fantasy series. I love this first book so much. The second book is still really good, but it wouldn't be at the top of my list, but it was still very good. I'm excited to see what happens to the characters in the third book, but definitely the first book is one of my favorite books of all time. I loved it that much. Yeah, that's all the books that I have. I thought I had more, but I didn't. But those are all my favorite. I know I didn't have a lot of favorites as far as mainstream fiction goes. I wish I did have more. I guess probably because I didn't read so much this year. And that's okay. I had a lot of more fun with other books, and just, yeah, and so a lot of them were just kind of okay. A lot made my least favorite list. That's okay. But yes, so I do have 3 to show you. Oh, look at that. They all go well together. That nice maroon and black covers. Really pretty. But yeah, so those are my favorite middle grade YA and historical fiction. So I just thought I would put them all in this video for you all. Stay tuned for, I think tomorrow or the next day is going to be my favorite Christian fiction. And it is going to be a monster video. Because there's a lot. Alright, so I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video.